Welcome to the Flow Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording. It's 3:30 p.m. That is Central Time. Today is January 23rd, and today being Friday, it's the big picture, long-term audio and video for the various different asset classes. And I think that there are lots of things to think about. And silver hitting $100 in here today, that is pretty momentous. But it's on the back of the dollar breaking lower. And this is not just about the dollar index, where we've actually seen that the dollar is breaking lower against a very large number of currencies, and several now are taking out significant areas of resistance against the dollar. So until relatively recently, it was theoretical that the dollar was in a bear market. Whereas I think what we're starting to see now is much greater evidence to confirm that hypothesis. And that has some very significant longer term implications. On the one hand, it is particularly beneficial for precious metals. In many respects, gold is considered to be the anti-dollar. And it's certainly the case that when it appreciates relative to the dollar as just a monetary metal, then that creates demand in its own right. And then you have the additional questions about the laddering effect that you have in precious metals. So once you start to see significant bullish activity in gold, it takes a while, but then silver starts to play catch up, and then platinum, then palladium, and then often you'll see minor metals starting to stage extremely impressive rebounds. And that's all on a limited supply argument. But then during the times when the dollar trends downwards, and not just in the short term, but over a long period of time, then that is usually also a time when ex-US markets, and particularly emerging markets, and they also tend to do well. And you also get something of a laddering effect there as well, because first you get Europe and Japan that tend to do best when the dollar is going down. But then people start to look further afield. So you get emerging markets. Now, there is an issue with how emerging markets are defined. We see quite a lot of promotion out of the frontier markets into emerging markets, but it seems to be very rare that an emerging market is promoted into developed markets. And you still have countries like Taiwan and South Korea that are still categorized as emerging markets, but they're highly developed, where they have GDP per capita that is on par with many developed countries. They have highly developed domestic banking, financial, technology, education systems that are at least on par, and in many cases better than you see in developed countries, and yet they're still categorized as emerging markets, and that does distort the performance of those indices. But again,